Hey everybody, today we're going to be going over the updated version of the Army Hero video I have previously released. I will post a link of that in the description if you're interested in watching it. I'll say a lot of the information in there still kind of holds true, but there's definitely some updates that need to be made to it, so that's what today's video is all about. So today's video is going to cover the orange SSR heroes. I'm not going to speak about other heroes just because they're kind of irrelevant for most people. Um, Sorry for any free-to-play players that might be using Rambo in them, but obviously if you're Army, you want to use Rambo. So um, I can't say much more than that uh, when it comes to that aspect. So with that, I also want to add that this video may run a little longer, so I apologize for that now. And it also, at the end, will be flipping to the side. I have an Excel that kind of breaks down everything and shows you where kind of a bunch of information that at some point I do want to get all that information to a website somehow, or a place where you guys can access it a little easier that wouldn't have access to my personal stuff. So I'm going to be working on that in the background, but so that might take a little while to get that up, but I'll at least have it here so you guys can see it. You guys can pause the video, zoom in, whatever you guys need to do with that. So we'll jump into this. We're going to go hero by hero. I'm going to tell you a little bit about them, and then we'll kind of go from there. So first thing I want to do is kind of break down areas I'm going to be talking about. So when I'm talking about a hero's skill, I'm going to be reading from this 5-star max area, just so that all the heroes are the same, because if you guys never knew, that this actually gets updated as you progress. So that amount up there does actually change. And then I'm also going to be reading from this area, which is the basic attribute, which does get increased based upon decor, your heroes, things like that, and that goes off of this area down here, which is where those stats come from. That's your war, your defense, and your command. War is attack, defense is HP, and command is the number of troops. If you ever want to figure out how many troops somebody adds, besides adding their skills in, you can just take that command number, divide it by 10, and then round up. So example, we're on B right now, he'd had 21 troops. So with that, we'll jump into B. So his 5-star max stats and skill are: when attacking, there's a chance to release 3 super missiles to attack random targets, dealing 38.9% damage at 100% crit rate. So what that means is he's going to be doing a lot of damage with those targets, and it's a pretty average, I want to say average rate that he triggers that. So I'll be calling that a trigger rate. So trigger rate means every time that it activates that skill. This is a pretty average rate, so it's not a bad thing, and he's definitely better than a purple Rambo hero. Some of you might actually have a purple V, which is probably more rare than a gold one or an orange one at this point. So kudos to you if you resisted upgrading him, because at this point you actually can't use those purple shards. You can trade them in for other things, but and then he adds, for every 100 war, it increases his damage of his super missile by 0.08. So you guys are going to see some small numbers in this attribute bonus, but you guys will see that they do actually add up. So his 100 war 0.08% actually adds 1.8% damage. So you can see that the difference there is this, and this number there is 1.8%. So just something to kind of think about is, as you're choosing heroes, choosing 3 heroes that might have that attribute bonus that are all the same, and then being able to focus on decor and skins and things that have those would definitely benefit you overall. So just kind of a note to think about. So B to me is an upgrade over purple heroes, but he still is the worst gold hero, or orange hero, sorry. So next we jump into Optimus. Optimus is a beast, to say the least. So at the beginning of the battle, all units gain 41% indestructible buff. 41% indestructible is damage reduction for 1 round, so you all know. And then when round 2 begins, they enter attack mode, and they have a chance to fire a howitzer missile, which deals 229.9% damage. And then when an army unit triggers howitzer, the target is disarmed for 1 round. Something I have to say about that disarm part: I've watched a lot of battles, and I've talked to some people that have also watched a lot of battles with him, and we've never seen it actually disarm somebody. Not sure if it's just not showing it in the battle, or if that's not actually part of his skill, but I've definitely never seen that happen, and I know some of my colleagues and friends have also never seen that. So, um, his attribute bonus is 100 defense increases the damage reduction by 0.05, and 100 defense increases the effect of the damage by 0.32. So you'll see from base stats to here, it goes up 2.2%, and then you'll see my damage goes up, it's like 15 or 14.5%. So it's kind of, these attribute bonuses are kind of important, and they're something to keep an eye on, but they're not necessarily like do or die, like, oh, if I have a war hero and a defense hero, that I can't put them together. And then you guys can see also down here something to think about with that and the war and the defense is, as you're choosing heroes, you definitely want to make sure you have some kind of a balance of what you need. So if you're choosing heroes to go on attack, you might not want heroes with a lot of defense because that's just going to have HP. If you have a lot of war, then that'll give you more attack power, which means you do more damage faster. So, but you also don't want to have no HP, because then if you make it past round 1, then you're pretty much screwed every time. So, things to think about. Our next hero is Fahed. His skill reads, when the battle begins, adds an armor to all units, which gains a 25.1% HP if you're attacking, and then it's 50.1% if you are defending. So definitely a defensive hero. And then each time when your army units attack, they gain 1 rage. Every 7 rage points, he will fire 3 missiles to random targets, each causing 135.6 damage. And it will be a critical hit if the number is below 50%. So, or if the total number of units in that target are below 50. So what that means is if you had 20 units in the slot before and you only have 9 out of 20, it'll be a critical hit on that tile if he hits that tile. So he adds 100 war. For every 100 war, he adds 0.04 to his armor if you're on offense and 0.08 if you're on defense, and then it adds 0.18% damage if to those missiles that he launches. So he's another hero that kind of specific, and I'll kind of talk about how to use a lot of these guys later on, but I just kind of want to get through talking about them, and then we'll jump in at the end. So I should probably be telling you about their exclusive skills. So Bumblebee doesn't have an exclusive. Optimus's exclusive skill is it increases his increases the effect of Optimus Prime's transform skill by 21%. So it doesn't increase the chances of them going off, but it does increase, his skill increases the damage reduction and then the damage increase. So, and then you can see there are some extra attributes. In my end video, or in my end spreadsheet, I don't go over that, so just kind of a heads up that I don't cover those because I don't have them for everybody, and I don't know what everybody's are, so I don't want to misspeak on those. As for Fahed, we'll go through here to talk about his, because I don't actually have his exclusive. So his exclusive increases the skill effect of Fahed's Angry Splash by 3%. So what that means is he actually increases his both his HP and his damage by 3%. And each level increases it more and more. So his, in essence, increases the skill effect. So now Ben is a not free to play hero. Same with Fahed. They're both not free to play. You have to purchase them or earn them in events in some way, shape, or form, depending on what you have available. His skill is increases attack of arm units by 60.3%. On the offensive, Ben will open a shield which protects all forces from one attack. It does not work on Rockfield's supersized bombard and enemies who have skills with 100% hit. So what that means is with Ben, if you're facing Rockfield, the shield doesn't work against his Rockfield skill, but it will work after that. And as a base, his skill stops 5 attacks. So That means if somebody launches, like Katyusha, who launches 5 missiles, it would take out all 5 of those triggers. If it's just a regular attack, it would be 1 per thing. So his attribute bonus is 100 war, increases the attack of Never Fear by 0.08, so that attack percentage we talked about. And then each star makes the shield protect the units for 1 more time. So when you first start, his shield's actually only 1, and then as you level up, it's 5. And then also, his exclusive skill increases the effects of Never Fear. So as those effects go up, you actually do gain more round or more protection. So right now I actually have 6 on my Ben, and what that allows is because this 10% rounds up. So it even says it in the description that it rounds up. So you can see Ben has a very, very high war and a low defense, kind of hints at what he is and isn't good for. So now we come to my favorite, Katyusha. She is very balanced in the war and defense section. Her skill is when your army unit are attacking, there's a chance that Katyusha would attack and deal damage to 5 random targets, 68% of damage each time. Every 100 war increases the damage dealt by 0.19, so you can see my Katyusha does 77.5% damage, and her skill increases her trigger chance. Katyusha is a love-or-hate with her skill. Her skill either seems to go off a lot or it doesn't go off enough. So definitely when she's in battle, it relies on that skill. But when that skill goes off, it's hard to beat that skill, no matter who you are, whether you're Navy, Air, or another army. That's a very powerful skill. Tywin is next. So you can see he's also a balanced hero when it comes to war and defense. And then his skill is after attacking, your land force has a chance to reload quickly and deal damage on another target, and deal another attack on the target with a damage rate of 117.4%. Now, that skill may seem really good, but this is kind of Tywin's flaw is if that skill, so say you attack somebody and you kill that tile, if that skill goes off, it essentially attacks a blank tile and it's useless. So that chance, they need to change that to be a random target. That way that always goes off, and that would make Tywin a lot more viable. But we'll can go into that later. And then every 100 war increases attack damage of the second attack launched by 0.17%. So you can see mine's almost 9% higher. Actually, it's 9% exactly. His skill increases the trigger rate, and then as you do level up his skill, you do get other things. You can see on mine, I have gather speed. So there are some heroes that have that increased or differentiated exclusive skill increase. So like his is gather skill. Optimus has a damage increase. I don't have all that information for you because I actually don't have a lot of high level exclusive skills, but they are out there, and that is information that if people have the information, they're welcome to leave in the comment section below for others to see. Next is Amalia. So her skill every time, or you can see she's actually kind of low for both war and defense, and her command is also low. The reason for that is mine's only 4-star, so so from now on my heroes won't be 5-star, they'll be 4-star, so you can't really pay attention to the war and defense, but you can see kind of the ratio that they're going to stay at. So she's a very high war hero but a low defense hero. Her skill is attack of all forces, so kind of something to keep in mind is all forces or army forces is a big thing. So something you could possibly use Amalia for is other types of forces or Air Force or Navy also. So attack of all forces increased by 72.3%. So that is something that happens every single battle, no matter what. And then she also has every time Amalia defeats the Dark Force, Warhammer, or Throb, she will get 5 Ancient Silver chests with a maximum of 20 chests per day. When she has 4 stars or above, they turn into gold chests, and the chests contain rare items, blah, 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 blah. So I just want to jump in here so you guys can see that the silver chests are orange shards, purple shards, fanatic paint, natural paint, small bit, tech chest, R&D, shiny gold chest. And then the gold chests are orange shard, purple shard, tough paint, fanatic paint, natural paint, large vit, tech, general R&D, and shiny gold chests. So she is very, very good for her chests. and her exclusive skill increases the amount of chests you can get a day. Definitely something to think about grabbing if you are looking to get free universal shards on a regular basis. Um, it it does drop about I get 20 or 19 a day, and I get 1 or 2 shards every day from her, which may not seem a lot, but being that she's kind of a universal hero and you can use her anywhere, upgrading her to 5 star and getting more, definitely worth it. So our next hero is Friendman Hertz. You can see he is also a very offensive hero, so his war is high, his defense is low, and his skill is after the battle begins, enemies' air forces will be paralyzed. So this happens every single time, no matter what, and the damage taken by those enemies is increased by 34.4%. So that means you get a damage increase of 34.4%, and their normal attack has a 31.6% chance of failure. Their skill will not be affected. So what that means is that if like Rockfield's skill goes off, or Selena's skill goes off, it's not going to be affected by that 31% chance of failure. That only goes for their base attacks, so their troops' normal attacks. His every 100 war increases the damage dealt by 0.5%, so that increases your damage increase, and then every 100 war decreases that chance of it happening also. So something to keep in mind, that he might be if you're having problems with Air Force, which I highly doubt because there aren't many Air Force mains in the world, Friendman Hertz might be a good counter to that, just for the fact that he basically gives you a 60% swing in the battle. So you have the 34% damage reduction, and then you have the 31% chance of basically dodging the attack. So that 30%, that's 1 in 3 attacks are going to fail. If that's 3 out of 9 tiles. If you guys want to think of it that way, that's a lot of missed attacks that really can swing a battle. So we'll jump into Bradley next. So Bradley, you can see, is very low in war, but very high in defense. And I can say, I know I didn't talk about Friedman's skill. I apologize. I'm going to jump back to him quick. So Friedman's skill increases the chance of the enemy attack failure caused. So basically, it means that dodge percentage goes up even higher. So the higher his skill, the more chances you are have dodging. So Bradley is our next hero. He, like I said, low war, high defense. When the battle begins, your army units will be covered by armor, which increases their HP by 47.5%. And then every 100 defense increases HP of all units by 0.08%. So you can see that he's going to get a lot of HP, and being that he has a high defense, he's going to get a lot more HP. And then his exclusive actually, and I don't believe I have it to a high enough level where it does anything effective. Bradley. Sorry. It's going to take me a second to find it. Bradley's right here. So level 4. It increases the skill effect of Bradley's armor, so it gives you an extra 8%. And then his skill actually, as you get it to a higher level, does increase the damage. So he starts to make up for that low war by his exclusive skill being altered to change that. So that's something, like I'm going to say it with every hero, I'm sure, but that's something to keep in mind. So I'll talk about all these heroes at the end. That's why I'm saying it's something to keep in mind, because I don't want to rank them as we're going through them, because you guys will probably get lost. So for Li Hongyu, she has a pretty balance. She's medium war, medium defense. And when your army attacks, there's a chance to launch an extra high explosive warhead and cause 40% damage to 2 enemy targets. So pretty similar to Tywin, except for it's 2 random targets instead of just a second attack. But the damage is lower, but it's going to actually hit 2 people. And then every 100 war increases that damage by 0.06%. And then her exclusive skill is going to just increase the trigger rate. I've used her a couple times just to kind of test. Her trigger rate's not the best, so something to keep in mind, that these trigger rates, they don't actually tell us what they are to begin with. Something I really wish they would have on the screen somewhere is to kind of see where they were, but they don't, and unfortunately, we just kind of got to test and see. Our next hero is Sam. So Sam is a low war, high defense hero, and you can see he has almost 28, or he has 28,000 defense to begin with. That's going to go up even more once he hits 5-star. His skill is there's a chance that your army units will launch jamming bombs after each attack. The target will not be able to attack for the next round. So if you guys don't know what disarm is, that's what this is. Basically, it means that when this triggers, it's going to stop the unit from attacking their next time. So that's big, and I do know personally that his exclusive does trigger quite a bit. So something to think about, and I am going to tell you that his exclusive skill increases that trigger chance even more. So um, things to think about. You'll also see that he doesn't have any basic attribute that increases his skill because his skill doesn't really have any percentages or anything. It's just all a trigger chance. Now we're on to Alex. If you guys haven't noticed, there's actually a few heroes in here that used to be Navy and Air Force that are now Army. They've been kind of fiddling around with things. I think they're trying to balance things, but they don't actually put it in the update notes. But I do notice that there are some things that have changed. I think Sam is actually one of them. I believe he used to be Navy, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong on that. But there were a few of them that have changed around. I think Villiers used to be Army, and now she's Air Force. Yeah, she's Air Force. So, back to our heroes though. So Alex, he is a high attack, low defense, and his 5-star is 5-star skill is your army attacks have a certain chance of becoming napalm bombs. These ignite the enemy, causing fire damage at a rate of 151.9% damage. That's a lot of damage, and it's an ignite, so it kind of keeps going. Then every 100 war increases burning damage of the Hellfire missile by 0.2%. So I do know his trigger rate isn't the best, but when it does go off, it's kind of devastating. Not a whole lot much I can say about him besides that. I haven't tested him a lot. I know some people have, so if you guys want to kind of comment on him and below, feel free. Now we'll jump down to the other orange heroes. So we got Ghira. Here's kind of my dark horse hero. I mentioned her in my first video, and I'm not sure if they changed something or if I'm just forgetting. But I feel like they added something to her skill, which makes her even more devastating. But I also might just kind of be overcompensating for her because I like to look for the hidden gems and things, and I might be kind of just digging too much and just not accepting the fact that she's not that great of a hero. So 5-star max stats after the battle starts and increases reduced damage taken for your army by 45.9%. So that's already more than Prime's, which was 41%. So that's a lot of damage to reduce, and it stays. It not doesn't just go away. And then each time the enemy launches a normal attack on your troops, so this doesn't include skills, the hero accumulates 1 rage. When the rage hits 7, army will consume all the rages in the next round and fire a fatal bomb that causes 325.6% damage. So, that's she. I haven't tested her yet, but I really want to test her, and I'm hoping to get her to 5-star soon, just to be able to test her truly, because that's a lot of damage reduction and a lot of damage, and that could be kind of a devastating combo to have on defense with someone like Brad and Prime or Brad and Fahed, where she has the high attack and low defense, but she makes up for that with that damage reduction. And then her attributes are 100 wars. War increases the damage reduction by 0.0%, 0.07%, and then every 100 war increases the bomb damage by 0.55%. So, her skill is in here. Ghira. I wish these were alphabetical. That would make things a little easier. go to the easy place to find. So if you guys are ever looking to see what somebody's skill does, you can go into your exclusive skill store and find out. So it increases her trigger effect by 2%. Not really sure what that means because she's not a trigger hero. um, that's that's what I'm saying. I think her skill has changed because there's nothing trigger about her. So um, not yeah, I don't know what her skill does at this point because there's no trigger on her. So definitely something Top War needs to fix there if they change her skill around. So these next three heroes, oh, actually, sorry, Praesus is in here. I've done a video previously on Praesus, but I'll still go over him. He's a semi-balanced hero, a little higher in war than defense. We kind of figure out how to use him, so I'll talk about that in a second. But attack of all army units increases by 32.5%, so army. And then each time the units in the first two rows launch an attack, there's a chance to fire 3 bullets target randomly at the enemies in the back row, and each missile will cause 140.9% damage. So we have tested the back row is the back row of the enemy, whether it's the back row, the middle row, or the front row. It just goes with whatever row is furthest back. So that does change as your enemies die. So if their back row dies, it goes to the middle row. If their middle row dies, it goes to the front row. And then his 100 war increases attack of army units by 0.05%, and then every 100 war increases damage by 0.2%. So we have found that he probably is going to be really devastating on offense, and I'm not going to be able to look at his skill now because it's gone. I apologize for that. I do have what his skill does, so I'll try to remember to do that when we go to the spreadsheet, but his skill just increases his trigger rate. But he is definitely going to be good for offense, and he does have a nice trigger rate. And the reason he doesn't replace Katyusha in my mind is because Katyusha can trigger on 9 out of 9 tiles. So she could theoretically trigger on every single tile, whereas he can only trigger on 6 out of the 9 tiles. So you're already giving yourself a 33% less chance of trigger, which in my mind is a lot. Yes, he does more damage, but at the same time, he's not firing as many missiles and he's not firing as often. So that's where he doesn't quite hit that level of Katyusha in my mind. So our next hero is Cruzo. His skill is after recruited this hero, the training of your first 84 units finishes instantly every day. So what that means is that 5 stars, as long as you have the resources, you get 84 free units every single day. That's a lot. I know his skill increases that amount even more, and every 100 commands speeds up the training of 4 more. So the higher level he is, the higher stars he is, the more units you get. So some people could be getting 100 free units a day. Don't see how you could ever need that because after about 800, 900 units, there's nothing left in your, no room left in your base. So I think the biggest base I've ever seen is 1600 units. So that's less than a week. And if you have 1600 units in your base, you're already kind of a whale. So you don't really, you probably aren't losing those as fast as other people who would actually need them. So I keep mine at 1 star. My free 21 units, 22 units a day is plenty for me. It fills up my base. In between server to server, I fill up my base pretty fast. So, Diana. Here is the most important hero in the game. So, I want to say it like that because she is an all-star. So she reduces fit cost by 2 when attacking Dark Legion, Warhammer, and Love Pop, which are throbs, and increases the troops' attack bonus. So your Dark Force attack by 46.5%. So in other words, she is going to make it so you can attack more Dark Forces, get more rewards, do better on things like the baking event, which is going on right now in our server. And then every 100 defense increases the attack towards the Dark Legion. Her war is low, her defense is high. Not much else to say besides the fact that throw some speed boosts on her and get her running Dark Forces all the time. Warhammers too when you need them. So, but She's definitely somebody that everybody should have. We don't want Ava. And then I believe there's 3 others down here. So we have Skara. Um, Skara manga or manga. I'm not sure which one it is. And by the way, Diana does not have an exclusive skill, so she just runs those nonstop. Uh, so Scaramanga, if you have this hero, the first 17 Valhalla units of the day will be trained instantly, and the repairing cost for Valhalla units is reduced by 11.5%. He is your Valhalla expert. He has pretty balanced stats, but those don't really matter for him. The whole reason you have him is for Valhallas. His skill gives you more Valhallas, and then each extra star increases the fast train by 3, and every 100 war increases the cost by, or decreases the cost by 0.02%. So basically, he gives you free speed ups to train your Valhallas each day. The same as Cruzo, where as long as you have the resources, you get the free units every day. So right now, the only place to get him was Eternal Lands, and you had to do a lot to earn him, but he's definitely worth it. Very quick way to fill up your base if you have enough Odinium to supply him. So that's kind of the downside to him, is you have to have a lot of Odinium to be able to do that nonstop. Our next hero is Silence. So there's a chance to fire 2 missiles when attacking, causing 110.7 damage. So you'll notice that those doesn't say army or anything. This could be anything. And applies the ignite status on the target, which causes 72.9% ignition damage for 1 round. So I don't know why it would say just 1 round. It's not really ignition damage if it's only doing it for 1 round. But anyways, every 100 war increases the damage of the missile by 0.16%, and every 100 war increases the effect of the ignition by 0.1%. So with her, I'm going to jump to her exclusive skill, because this is kind of why everybody's going to want her. Her exclusive skill, the silence would be able to increase the damage increase of all units by 1%. So basically, the higher level her skill is, the more damage increase you get, and you don't have to send her in the march. So that's where she is valuable. From what I've heard otherwise, she's not that great of a hero. So definitely not somebody to get unless you want that extra damage increase and you don't need another hero. And now Belle. Belle is one hero that I can't really talk to a lot. I know nobody that has her, nobody that knows anything about her or how to even get her. So nobody's in that I know has her yet or was able to tell me anything about her. And if they did, they haven't tested her very well. If they possibly did have her, but I don't think anybody had her. At least they didn't tell me they had her. So her skill, when we attack, there's a chance to fire 3 bombs and cause 77.6% to 1 random target. So already you can tell that that might be a problem, because if you trigger on a tile that's almost dead, it's going to be a waste, because you'll hit with the first one and then the other 2 bombs just basically hit nothing. If our troops defend the city, the resources are building, the enemy's damage will be reduced by 64.5% when the skill hits the target. Not really sure what it says when it hits the target, because why would your damage be reduced? The enemy's damage will be reduced. Oh, so wait. Oh, so if you hit them with the target, or sorry, if you hit them, their damage gets reduced. Basically, it's something that affects them after you've hit them. So on defense, it's not really an effective thing, because you're not going to hit first, unless you have a weakening tower or something set up. She looks like she'd have balanced stats, by the way, and I'm guessing her skills are going to increase the damage of both of these things. Every 100 war increases the bomb damage dealt, and every 100 war increases the attack of all the enemies. So she does seem like would be a defensive hero, but again, I can't speak much to her, so I'm just going to kind of throw her into an unknown category. But now we're going to jump into these spreadsheets here, and I'm going to have to move that. No, sorry, I don't want Bixby. So now I took the time to kind of throw this all in spreadsheets, so you guys can ignore column C and D for right now. We already discussed all that. We also discussed column E. I do know that I do have Praesus's exclusive skill on here, and it actually improves attack and damage. So just something to think about, that's what his skill does. In column B, I have put what the hero is. So a chance hero is where they have a skill that does not activate every single time. There's a chance, some RNG involved. A set hero is something that does happen every single time, whether it's attack up, HP, units being built, Vit being used. And then there are rage heroes. I think Ghira and Fahed kind of ring a bell there, where they build up rage and then they go off, type of thing. So the section you guys probably care most about right now is the tier, though. So I have put these guys into tiers kind of based upon what I feel about them and what other people have told me about them. I've taken into high consideration. I don't just kind of throw these videos together and say, hey, this is my opinion, deal with it. And I do want to say that all the information in this video, besides, I mean, obviously the skills and how they work isn't debatable, but how people see the heroes may change, and they might have different things that we don't know about yet. So always open to discussions, always open to try to help out for anybody that has questions in the comment section below. But so you'll see I have kind of 6 bonus heroes. So Tywin, Cruzo, Diana, Skara, Amalia, Silence. So Tywin for his gathering, and it kind of goes with the benefits section here too. The benefits are kind of why I put them there. So Tywin's for his gathering, Cruzo for his speed ups, his daily speed ups for training troops, Diana for her Dark Forces Vit reduction, Skara for his Valhalla free troops, Amalia for those bonus chests that she gives, and then Silence for that damage. I also put Amalia and Silence in the medium tier. So medium tier would be that I would, and not necessarily saying that they're the best hero, but if you were to get them and max them out, they might be useful just for the fact that of how their skills work. Amalia is really good just because of that attack up. So our next set is our highs. So we have Optimus, Ben, Katyusha, and Bradley. And then Praesus. So Optimus is a defensive hero. We are finding out more and more as we go. Unless you have the high level exclusive skill, level 7 or above, he is very much a good defender. You have Ben, who is 100% offense, absolutely terrible on defense, but with that shield and his high attack, he's very good at offense, at taking people out very quickly. Katyusha is the best hero because she's free to play, so you can get her and upgrade her without having to get gold shards or anything. You could just do premium red recruit tickets and get her to level 5 and max perks theoretically, and she's good on offense and defense because her skill triggers equally. Nothing changes. Bradley is free to play also, which makes him a bonus. He is a much better defender than attacker, but with a high level skill, he could be useful on offense, but I would definitely classify him as a high level defender. And then Praesus is the opposite of that, where he's a good attacker, but might be able to be used on defense. Not the best, but still, I know a lot of people here are like me, where they only have one march, so you don't have an offense as defense. It's either your offense is out killing or your offense is in defending you. So somebody like Brad and Katyusha are both good for that. Bumblebee, he is good. He is part of the low in my mind. So what low means is these are heroes that I wouldn't necessarily focus on, and I actually, once I get them to 5 stars, I won't even use their extra shards to unlock perks. What I will do with them is I will unlock the 4 perks for all the heroes, and then I will actually perk hop. So what that means is if you get a hero you want to max the perks, so say I just got my brand new Optimus, I would unlock his 4 perks, and then I would switch those perks to Sam, for example, and then I would apply all Sam's shards to those perks, and then I would switch them to the next hero, and I would apply all Li Hongyu's perks, or all her shards, and it's a quick way to upgrade your perks right away if you don't have the gold shards or the hero shards sitting around. So with these heroes, we have Bumblebee, who's free to play. He's essentially a purple hero with an extra 5 units he gets to march with, so that's why he's low. But he's free, so definitely something to think about if you just need a 5-star gold or orange hero. Friedman, Li Hongyu, and Sam. Um, Friedman would be good against Air Force, but that's very specific, and because there's not a lot of Air Force, it kind of leaves him in a area where he's kind of useless. Li Hongyu is the next one. She could be offensive, but I know her skill does not go off often, and it's still not the best skill to begin with. And then Sam is, and all three of these guys are free to play, so that's kind of helpful for them. But Sam's only thing is he disarms opponents, so you're relying on him to disarm, which he does disarm a lot, but he doesn't add any damage to the battle by doing that. So we're going to jump into the next set, which still has some of the same heroes on here, so I apologize for that. But with how stop that with how it works, I had to take it this way. So the next set is actually the medium heroes. So in there you have Fahad, Alex, Belle, and Ghira. So like I said, I don't know about a lot about Belle. I kind of threw her in the medium just based off of what she does. Fahad, he would be great on defense. I've had him on offense, and he was absolutely terrible. So um, I saw, so to tell how good he is on offense, when I got Prime to 4-star, Prime on 4-star was better than Fahad on 5-star when it came to attacking. When it came to defense, that wasn't true, but on offense it was. Alex is good because of the fact that he's free to play. He has a nice trigger rate and he does ignite. Um, so, and then you have Ghira, who, like I said, I think her skill changed completely because it, like I said, it increases the trigger rate, but she doesn't have a trigger rate anymore. So I'm not sure what it increases, but she could be. I always had her as a medium, anyways, but I have medium high because if that skill is new and I haven't gotten to test around with it yet, that definitely was kind of a sleeper type of thing. And she's free to play, which makes it a lot easier to upgrade her. So, like I said, I'm going to try to figure out a way to get this Excel posted for all you to see. But um, if you are looking for kind of your best army marches, if you're going for offense, I would say Katyusha, Ben, Praesus. Can't go wrong with that. If you're going for defense, I would go Prime Fahad Ben or Bradley. Sorry, Prime Fahad Bradley, or Prime Katyusha Bradley, or Katyusha Fahad Bradley, and then um, Ghira. I don't know how she fits into everything yet. Oh, sorry, I zoomed past her. But if that skill is as good as I think it is, my defense, and this is coming from saying my offense right now is Katyusha, Prime, Ben. My defense would become Fahad, Bradley, Ghira. So it all depends on what you have also. So like with me, I only have a handful of 5-star heroes. So if we're going off of what I have here, my 5-star attack squad, I put everything into attack because I don't plan on being it. I don't plan on being attacked, even though I know I'm going to be, but I don't plan on that. So Katyusha Prime Ben is my offense, and B Fahad Tywin would be my defense. But that's just how it is right now. What I probably am going to do is I'm going to keep maxing out my perks on Katyusha Prime and Ben until they're maxed, and then I'm going to start working on my defensive heroes. And Bradley will be my first one, unless I test. And Ghira, she may be my second one that I work on, and then Praesus would be my third. And why I'm saying that is because I would do for attack, I would do Katyusha Ben Praesus, and then I would leave behind Prime Bradley Ghira or Fahad Bradley Ghira. So it's kind of where my mind is at. Things change, and I they're always evolving. New heroes come in and they change things, they change skills and things like that. I'll definitely try to peek around and see if I can find Ghira's old skill. I'm not sure if I mentioned it in my old video or not, but I'll definitely peek around and try to find it. And I will be releasing a Navy version of this and an Air Force version, and then I'm going to do a kind of just like a best March type of thing for all around, because there are heroes like Amalia and Villiers who can be used everywhere. And I want to put that all in a video so everybody can kind of see all the heroes at their basics and kind of where they would be fall in line. And then everybody can have a discussion kind of about how who's best and where it goes from there. So with that, I'm going to cut this video off. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night. And remember to like and subscribe if you enjoy this. And keep an eye out for the next videos. It may be a couple days before they come out, but these definitely take a little bit of time to get together. So I'll talk to you later. See ya.